What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Dead Channel Duo podcast, episode number 6. Today we're joined by Alexander, better known on the internet as Purple Swordfish at purpleswordfish.com. What's going on?
What's going on, Andy? How are you?
Good. It's been a while since we recorded one of these.
It's been a while since I've seen you, man. I feel like we haven't really spent a whole lot of quality time together lately. So, that's been kind of weird. How was your week?
Pretty adventurous.
Adventurous.
Besides the adventure part,
Yeah.
I've been just grinding Madden, playing Call of Duty, the beta. I'm not gonna play old Call of Duty, obviously.
Yeah.
It's been 12 days since the last podcast we recorded, so it's been a while.
It has been a while, man. And if you're out there and you're wondering why did the last one release a little late, well, there were some things that came up and.
We forgot.
Well, we forgot, and then there were also some extenuating circumstances that some things that just needed our attention that presented themselves unexpectedly. But nevertheless, yeah, man. So you talked about. I just want to ask because I'm on the fence about this game, and I know that me and you famously got in quite the argument about this game too.
On Twitter.
Black Ops 4. Okay.
You gotta tell people if they don't know. We got into the argument.
Yeah. Well, it was
campaign mode versus multiplayer mode.
So first of all, I want to be really clear here. Like this was not like an angry like F you like type argument. It was more like I would call it more of a debate, if anything. I clearly came out on the losing end. You
got wrecked.
Yeah, I got wrecked in the poll. So badly wrecked, Andy, that I reevaluated, like, maybe I'm too old, maybe I'm just getting too old because...
The poll was like...
it
was like, what game mode... The poll was, what game mode do you play in Call of Duty? Or like, no, the poll was, why do you buy Call of Duty?
Yeah.
Options were campaign mode, multiplayer, zombies, or other, which I don't know what other would be, to be honest. But the results were like 60% multiplayer, 30% zombies... Like 6% campaign and 4% other or something like that.
Yeah, and I kind of went through the, how they call it the 7 stages of grief. Like at first I was kind of sad. And then after a while, like I was in denial. I was like, well, maybe Andy posted the question in a way that was kind of vague. I
literally said, why do you buy the game?
I know. And, well, again, these are just, like I said, denial. I admit that it was me being in denial, but nevertheless,
I took an AP Psych class that I happened to fail, but I know how to do this.
Yeah. So you know what I'm talking about. Eventually, I just got to the point where I accepted it. I'm like, you know what? The reasons I played Call of Duty, when Call of Duty originally came out, and like I want to say 03 or 04, something like that, the reasons I played the game are not the reasons why the current generation of gamers play, and that's there's nothing wrong with that. But nevertheless, I haven't been wrecked that badly in a poll since like the Star Trek versus Star Wars one, where I was like, Star Trek will hold its own, maybe it'll be kind of close. Oh, dude, got wrecked, man. I was heartbroken.
Call of Duty is you should probably give it more high praise.
Yeah,
because if there was no Call of Duty, there'd be no gaming YouTube. The first game ever posted on YouTube, like a commentary, was Call of Duty 4.
I like to think that with things like YouTube, with things like music movements, like how people will say stuff like, some people will say, if it wasn't for the Beatles, there'd never be rock and roll.
Yeah.
I guess I have that weird like Jeff Goldblum mentality of like life finds a way. Like it would have happened somehow, some way. Like that creativity still would have come out.
There's a guy that I still follow. He's the first person to ever do a commentary.
Yeah.
And he's not that big anymore, which is kind of sad. But his name is Blame Truth.
Yeah.
And now he just like Pokemon stuff. But that's the first guy who called. Like, he's one of the first guys. And then, like, the commentators back then were so. Like, you could talk about anything. Most of the time, they weren't even talking. Like, they'll just be like long pauses.
Yeah.
Because no one really cared.
Yeah, those.
But he kind of blew up back in the day because.
Yeah. Back then, it was.
Back then, there was no commentary gameplays. You just post a gameplay, no commentary.
Absolutely.
That's what was the thing back in the day.
Yeah, so getting back to our debate, Like, I was personally a little bit let down by the fact that there will be no campaign in Black Ops 4, because when I would get a new Call of Duty game, it was the first thing I would do is play the campaign. I like them, you know. I'm an old guy, but nevertheless, it's gone because apparently a lot of users spoke out and said that they really don't see a need for it, and there were some good statistics that Activision put behind it. I agree with you at this point. I mean, if what Activision is saying is true, where only 8% of people were actually playing the campaign in full on a Call of Duty game, I get it. Okay, like I relent, I yield. It's an argument that I'm not going to win. But I'm still on the fence about this game because people continually ask me in my streams, are you going to buy it? Are you going to play it? And I kind of want to get back into Call of Duty, and I've heard it's boots on the ground. There's no more jump packs, which was my biggest pet peeve with the Call of Duty series. So how much Black Ops 4 beta have you played?
Like 12 hours.
12. Okay, so 12 hours. You should be able to give me, like, is it, by your standards, is it a return to glory for Call of Duty, or is it... Okay. Would you say it's better than Call of Duty World War II, which I know was a game that you enjoyed? Better or worse? Or the same?
I don't know. Better, I guess.
Okay. Based on the beta.
But not like blowing it out of the water.
Okay. Based on the beta, will you buy the game?
I mean, I buy it every year, so...
Okay.
It's just like Madden. Like, you can't just be like, are you going to buy the game? It's a guaranteed, like, I'm just getting it.
Okay. Okay. Well, which system are you getting it on?
Xbox.
Okay, cool.
Because that's where my friends play.
Will you play with me, or are you going to be one of those people you're going to be like, you're going to hurt my stats?
You're trash.
I fully admit I could probably, on a good day, pull a KD of like 1.4, okay?
Yeah.
I'm asking you, Andy, to be my friend, not just my Call of Duty friend.
I play with exclusively trash players, though. So.
Okay, well then we'll get along just fine.
Like me and my roommate, we'll get in a game. Every game within the game will be like, dude, he's kind of trash. He'll be like 40 and like 20 something. I'll be like 40 and 15.
Yeah.
He always has way more deaths.
So you heard it here first, man. DCD's gonna be on Call. Yeah, we are. We're gonna be on Black Ops 4. We're gonna start DCD Clan. You could join us. It'll be cool.
It's a guild.
Okay, it'll be a guild. I like that. We'll stand out from the rest. Anyway, so I'm
not a part of that. I'm not.
So I appreciate you. Wait, you're not going to be a part of it?
No, you can do that. I don't care.
You don't want to be part of the DCD clan on Call of Duty?
No.
Man. Okay, whatever. I'm going to try to wear you down on this one.
How was your week?
It's pretty eventful. Had a guest over the weekend, and there were some complications.
Was he cute?
Pretty cute.
Ew.
Anyway, yeah.
I don't know what I expected the answer to be out of that.
Yeah, and then so after our visitor left, I think it was about, was it maybe Tuesday or was it Monday? I don't know. One of those days. It was either Monday or Tuesday. And I remember like yesterday. The house just felt really empty and like really quiet. And I was like, wow, it's crazy how things just kind of go right back to, I guess you could call it homeostasis or whatever. So things were really quiet. And then things immediately, I had about a day of that before I got woken up at 4:30 in the morning, Friday morning. And I had to take Ashley to the emergency room. Ended up being a false alarm, but really bad stomach cramps. They ran every test they could on her. Couldn't find anything. So they gave her basically some painkillers and some things to keep her comfortable and sent her home. And then I've been taking care of her all weekend. So that's been
that's what happened whenever I had an allergic reaction to the sun.
Yeah. I mean, I love my wife. So it's like, you know, it's what I have to do. So I took off Friday, spent the day taking care of her, and I'm glad I took Friday off because I had zero sleep. I mean, like, just zero sleep. Anyway, so that was my week. But I've been playing a lot of Madden, waiting on World of Warcraft. Got to throw that in there. That's coming out this Tuesday. and I am really hyped for it. I got it fully paid for. Like, all I got to do is go pick it up. And I'm thinking about maybe just because of urgency, just because I want it, like, right now, like, as soon as I can, I might take an Uber for, like, $3 down to the store, pick it up, and then take an Uber back home. That's how badly I want it.
Why don't you order an Uber Eats and tell them to pick it up?
I don't know, man, because that sounds like a recipe for me getting, like, a McDonald's milkshake, like, spilt on my World of Warcraft special edition. And yes, I did order the physical edition because I want all the physical stuff that comes with it. It comes with a coin that I'm going to somehow... don't make that face, Andy. You forget the webcam's turned on.
I was fully aware. I was looking at myself.
I'm going to get like a big Mr. T style chain and somehow attach that coin to it. I'm just going to wear it everywhere, dude. Like, it's going to be amazing. So,
you should put the Sonic coin on it.
Really hyped for that. Oh, well, the Sonic ring? I could do that. Yeah.
It'd be a chain with a smaller chain on
it. Well, I mean, yeah. Just like, kind of like an Inception type thing, I guess you could call it. So, yeah, man. But overall, pretty good week. You know, you gotta, when things go wrong, had a couple things go wrong. My TV died. So I'm rocking a new TV.
Rest in peace.
Yeah, rest in spaghetti, never forgetty. But I'll tell you, like when things go bad, my internet went down a couple times this week. That was great.
You know what? As they say, when it rains, it pours.
When it rains, it pours. My grandmother would tell me things happen in threes. I don't know why. I love my grandma. Rest in peace, Grandma, if you're out there listening. I'm sure you are. Probably have a lot of time on your hands if you're...
like celebrities all die in threes.
Yeah, well, I don't know. My grandmother always used to talk about that. She's a very superstitious woman. She came from the old country, Yugoslavia, right? And first generation American. And she would always have like all these superstitions. Like don't put a brand new pair of shoes, never put them on a table. Just like weird stuff like that, right? But she would always tell me, oh, Alex, things happen in threes. So the way I look at it is my TV died after we went to the hospital, and my cable internet was all over the place this week, and I couldn't stream for like a week. So, there's my three things, and now give me some good stuff. Which, I mean, you gotta look at the good stuff, not so much all the bad stuff. There's more good than going on.
I think I'm a 5+ generation American.
You seem like the kind who's been here a long time.
The reason I say that is because I don't know. So we've probably been here forever.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sitting here thinking that would make me a 3rd generation American.
On both sides of my families, if you Google the last name, we were lords in England. So I really don't know when we transferred.
Yeah, I don't have anything that illustrious. One side of my family, one side of my family were coal miners from Kentucky, and then the other side were Eastern European immigrants who literally had nothing when they came over here, got their citizenship. I guess I don't know what the process was like that back then, but apparently it wasn't very easy. They got their citizenship and worked very hard to make a living, make ends meet, all that, and provide for their family. Pretty much, I don't know. Like, it's one of those things where, like, how people say, I want my kids to do better than I did. Like, my great-grandparents wanted that for my grandparents, and they did. And my grandparents wanted that for my mom and her brothers, and they did. And, like, I've done pretty well for myself as well, so...
Maybe your kid eventually will drop out of Harvard and save the rap game.
I certainly hope that is not the path that happens. But I mean, if that's what happens, it's what happens. Anyway, let's move on to.
I was thinking of something. I forgot it.
Oh.
Never mind. I guess it doesn't matter.
Anyway, let's move on to your adventure this week.
Oh yeah. Well, we recorded the podcast early last week because we even said it in the podcast, so we've been eluding it for no reason.
Yeah.
So Tuesday morning,
Yep.
nope. Friday morning,
Yep.
was completely off. I woke up, started driving south for a couple hours.
Many hours.
Yeah, it was like 14 hours.
Yeah.
And then, I was in the Swordfish area. Like 10 minutes away from his house, my car broke down and got completely wrecked.
Yeah. That was
I was just driving,
terrible.
and then the battery light turned on, and I was like, what is this nonsense? Just kept on driving. I was like, this isn't anything. And then more lights kept on turning on, and then the whole car shut down in the middle of the interstate.
These things happen. I'm surprised that you got where you got if that happened on the interstate.
Oh, yeah.
So
I was going like 80, and then I swooped in to that parking lot.
Oh, I know where you came from. That was a long way to coast, bro. Wow, that's actually kind of impressive. So yeah, I came and picked you up.
Comeback kid for nothing.
So we got your car towed to a repair place, and then I came and picked you up. Before that,
you picked me up. And there was a solid, like, I was parked next to someone that also needed tow.
Oh,
and we didn't know what to do.
Yeah, yeah.
But,
and then they tried to steal your tow truck driver too.
Yeah. I parked literally the worst spot possible.
Yeah.
Because where I ended up parking, I couldn't move the car. There was a sign right in front of it that says, it was like, if this stays here for a while, we're going to tow it.
Yeah. Yeah. They're pretty, there's a lot of that down here. I don't know if it's like that in Kentucky, but down here, like, most parking lots have that sign.
That's not a thing.
So we had
places too, but yeah, like
so
most places.
We had to push your car, dude. That irritated me because I'm like, this guy should give us a discount. Because, like, if he's not going to push it himself. So I'm sitting there, I'm pushing the car. I think I was wearing sandals. I think I was wearing flip-flops.
You were wearing socks and sandals.
Well, because, you know.
Sorry, I noticed.
Yeah, I know. I just put on whatever I had on and just ran out of the house when that happened. So, anyway, we had to push the car. And then there was this one moment. I never told you about this. But there was this one moment where we were pushing the car backwards. And it's rolling and rolling and rolling, and I'm like, if this keeps rolling, it's gonna hit my car. And he's like, you can stop now. And I'm like, I wish you would have told us that before. So we had to stop the car. It was just really scary stuff, man. Because I was so afraid that he was gonna jack up your car somehow, and it's like, oh no, now what do we do? You know?
Yeah.
So
he gave me his business card.
He gave you the business card? I didn't see that. Okay.
Yeah, it's if you guys want the same guy, just us towing.
Yeah, man. Yeah. I mean, he was as nice as can be. They also buy junk
cars, if you're curious.
They do buy junk cars. They do. I might have a Miata for him in no time. Anyway, so we took you back to our house, set you up.
I instantly crapped on your house.
Yeah, fun story. I take Andy up to this room that I'm in right now, and this is my office / I use it as a home office. I also use it for recording, all that, and got 2 desks in here. You know, one for work, one for that kind of thing. And the first thing Andy says is, "This is small. This is small. Like,
the room looks so much bigger on like the camera still. Like, I know how big the room is." But even looking at it now, I'm like, it's so much bigger on camera.
It's a
small room.
I don't get that. So immediately craps on my house. That was a lot of fun. So then we streamed. That was pretty cool, right?
No.
I mean, the first stream went okay.
That's not how it went.
Wait, what did we do?
The first thing we did was build the PC.
We built the PC. Oh
we
my god!
We stayed up till like 5:30 in the morning building a PC.
Oh god, Andy, that was something, man. Like, it was one of those things where I don't know how to say this in a way that doesn't sound stupid, but like as we were building it, I'm like, either by the end of building this PC, Andy's gonna think I'm an idiot, or we're gonna kind of like bond over it and become better friends, like. But there was that moment at about 3:30 in the morning when I was trying to attach that damn air cooler with that friggin' scissor mount.
Yeah.
And I don't know. Hyper 212 air cooler. If you know what that is, look it up. It has this weird scissor mount, something I've never dealt with before. And it was like frustrating the hell out of me. Like about 45 minutes in, I still hadn't gotten it the way I wanted it on there. And I'm like, I don't know if I could do this, man. I don't know if I could do this. But yeah, we stayed up till 5 and we didn't even finish the PC build.
Nope.
We finished it the next day.
We say we. It's more or less I watched you build it.
You screwed in some fans. And you
Big
gave me
plays.
I could not have done it without a second set of hands. There were a couple because there were a couple times with that particular case that you have, which I really loved that case. And when I went to Best Buy today, I saw that there's a gaming PC company. It's called Cyber Power. Yeah, they make PCs. They use that same case. Anyway.
Yeah. They just build PCs and sell it.
Yeah, it's a really, really nice case, but it's really, really small. So yeah, we built a PC, and then that finished about, I think maybe about 1 or 2 p.m. the next day. We finished that build. We put it on hold. We didn't really have that much to do when we adjourned at about 5:30. We really didn't have that much left to do. Yeah. But yeah, that was interesting.
And then the next day we went to the car place, and they're like, we can't do anything till Monday.
Yeah, that guy was just like, yeah, I don't think we could look at it till even Monday. And I'm like,
I was trapped in Florida.
Trapped.
Couldn't leave if Alex was a weirdo and he's trying to wear my skin.
You know, I was kind of worried about that. I was like, you know, I feel bad for Andy because I don't know, like, internally, if you came to my house and you're like, okay, this guy's weird. You know, like, I don't like it here. Like, I can't wait to get out of here. And then, like, you find out you got to wait till Monday. I'm sitting there thinking, if that's how Andy feels, I don't think he does, but if he does, I feel really bad for him.
I was going to wake up in a well, and you'd be like, apply the lotion.
No, this is not a Buffalo Bill moment. I'm not going to do that. I do love the idea of that because it's funny, but I would never do. I don't know. Like, the whole time I was like, I just don't want to make Andy feel awkward or uncomfortable. But yeah, like, so I figured, you know, I just kind of go about my regular routine and Andy can kind of tag along, which is what happened. I got you.
Second day.
The second day was actually a pretty eventful day, man. We went and we figured out your car thing, and then we got your first public sub. How'd you feel about public subs?
Overrated.
Okay, overrated.
I don't know, like,
not as good as Penn Station.
It was super hyped up.
Okay, I admit.
But it was just like a 6 out of 10.
Okay.
Like, it's like Infinity War in my mind. Like, it's super hyped up. It's not that good, though.
You know, real quick, before we move on to the next thing that I wanted to ask you about, now that we're in separate states again, one of my favorite comments ever from Andy was, I drive up, Andy's in his car, he kind of looks at me weird, like, is that Alex? You know, I
didn't expect the car.
Yeah. So I get out of the car, and even though, like, I know how tall he is, he gets out and the first thing I think is, man, he's pretty tall. So I'm thinking in my mind, he's probably thinking, man, he's short, right?
Yeah.
But I think it was like, we're talking, you know, exchanging pleasantries, all that. I went through the whole, do I hug Andy? Do I give him a handshake? That kind of awkwardness.
There was a solid, like, awkward state the first couple of, like, hour.
There was this one moment in that awkward state, and that's on me, man, because I'm just kind of weird socially. Like, I remember you're just like, dude, is it always this hot? And
that was not the first hour.
We're
just like, the car you don't have AC in. And I was just like, God.
I don't have AC in that
it was
car.
like,
it's broken.
It was like midnight.
Yeah.
And it just felt like it was daytime.
Yeah, it was really, I mean, but, you know, I told him, I'm like, Andy, you just get used to it, man. You just, like, plus you wear a hoodie everywhere. That's another thing I learned about you. It was kind of interesting. So, yeah, that second day, man, So we
You know
got the
what?
public sub, and then we
First-
kind of hung out
first
for a while.
Opinions of you were
What?
he's skinny in real life.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I appreciate that. Makes me feel good. Thank you, Andy.
The camera adds 5 pounds.
Well, I have lost 10 pounds in the last month, and I'm trying to add on to it. I'm not saying that that's why it looks that way. I think the other thing, too, is my head is really round and egg-shaped, and, like, we've gone over that in great detail. But,
Speaking of your head, you need a haircut.
yeah, no, man. I talked about this on stream. I'm growing it out so I can prove to people I'm not bald. Everybody keeps saying this is a bald spot. This is not a bald spot. It's a gray spot. And you know what's funny is my wife, she's like, at one point, she's like, you know that gray spot? It kind of looks like a dick. And it, like, I looked at it and I'm like, oh, no. Ashley's
that
right.
reminded me. Erica insulted you again.
Really?
We had like a small little party at my house, and I was just flipping through YouTube on my PS4, and he saw your she saw your channel, and she goes, "Yeah, that Eggman likes all my pictures on Instagram."
I do it to be nice.
You're just like, that Eggman.
Why is it? Erica, if you're ever out there listening, I don't have anything against you. Like, I think you're cool and you're funny, and we talked for like 30 seconds on stream one time. Like, I thought we were good. I mean, you could call me an Eggman, that's fine, but like, I like everybody's pictures on Instagram. I like to make people feel good. So like, when I go down Instagram, I'm just liking everything. I'm like, oh, World of Warcraft meme? Like, oh, this guy that I work with is posting a picture where he's flexing. Okay, cool. Let's like that. Like, I just like everything because I want people to feel good.
Dr. Robotic?
What?
What if she starts calling you Dr. Robotic or
Robotnik? I mean,
yeah.
that's fine. I don't care. I have a, like, I like to think I have a pretty good sense of humor. I don't take myself that seriously.
And she grow out his mustache.
Wait, what?
The Dr. Robotnik mustache.
Oh, dude, if I could do that. I don't know if I could get it that long though.
It's like 8 times bigger than his head.
But yeah, like I'm a pretty bad offender of, like, when I go through Instagram, I'm like, I just like everything. One time I liked something and I was like, ooh, I probably shouldn't have liked that. That's kind of a mean thing.
My brother one time, he had like this girl he's hanging out with. They weren't like girlfriend or boyfriend yet.
Yeah.
And my grandma was like, show me a picture of her. So he pulls a picture, like an old Instagram picture.
Yeah.
And she liked it.
Yeah.
It was like a picture from like 50 weeks ago.
Oh, dude. So
it completely ruined that relationship.
Yeah, I hate to those side tangent. So there was this one time there was this one lady who we were talking. We didn't go out on any dates or anything. But we got to know each other and we're texting back and forth, and we had talked on the phone a couple times, and I'm like, she seems really cool. Like, I'm really thinking this has potential to where we could go out with each other, you know, that kind of thing. And one day I'm at work and I log into Facebook and I have a billion notifications. And I'm like, what is happening? Like, I never have that many. I'm kind of a loser, right? So I look and it's like, it had the girl's name, and it's like, she liked this photo, she liked this photo, she liked this photo. She went through, I mean, I'm talking about stuff that encompass like 5 years worth of things, and I'm like, ooh, man.
I feel like there's a different when a girl does it and a guy does it.
No, I mean, I will say this. I found it a little bit weird, and then I guess what I would call the last straw, where I thought it was like a little bit, I don't know. I know there's gonna be guys out there who are gonna listen to this and be like, Alex, you're really sounding like a not a real man right now. I don't know what else I could say. That isn't a curse word, but nevertheless, like, she, without me asking for it, without any warning whatsoever, she sent over some revealing photos of herself, and by revealing I mean the whole shebang. Like, I saw it all, and when she sent those over, I'm like, I don't know if this is really for me, because, like, I don't know you.
I think the word you're looking for is you're being flamboyant.
Andy. No, I mean, I thought, Here's the thing, man. If a girl's willing to do that without even meeting you, without even going out on a date with you, she's probably doing it with a lot of guys, right? Like, I guess that's just how my mind works. I just didn't feel comfortable with it. And when I feel uncomfortable, I know I'm going to, like, tighten up, and because I'm already kind of not the best guy socially. Like, in terms of, like, I can be a little awkward sometimes. I turn red. I'm really pale. So then I just look like a really red egg running around.
Yeah.
And people are like, why are you so embarrassed? Which makes me more embarrassed.
This isn't Easter. Why you colored?
Exactly. So, yeah, that was...
Speaking of pale, we also ate at the ale house.
The ale house.
The first night.
Yeah.
The hyped up ale house.
Okay. How would you rate the ale house?
It's like a slightly worse B-dubs.
Oh my goodness. Slightly worse than B-dubs. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'd agree with that, but okay.
Like just the taste of the chicken.
Yeah.
Just slightly worse.
Okay.
Also, I wanted my own order of fries, and the waitress, after I ordered like my wings, just walked away. Just didn't care what I thought.
Dude, you should have told me that.
And I was just like, fine, I'm not getting fries.
Well,
that's how it is, lady.
Sorry, man. So then we streamed that night. That was pretty fun. Yeah. I had a lot of fun streaming with Andy.
The stream that didn't have any problems.
I don't get to stream with guests that much. I kind of miss that.
You have Coin Santa.
Do you have Coin Santa, but she doesn't come on the show very often. So I don't really remember much of the next day.
The next day was Sunday.
We went to church.
We went to church the night before.
Yeah.
We went to church during the stream. Anyways.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. We did have the Four Locos. I forgot about that.
Sunday, we went to Wendy's.
Yeah, Wendy's.
Cause you went to GameStop. The dude was like incompetent and was like, "Yeah, we don't do cash transactions."
Yeah. No cash trades.
And then we were gonna go to Best Buy, and they're like, "No," and we went to Wendy's.
Yeah.
And then I met Ashley's parents.
Oh yeah.
Just, accident.
Yeah.
I feel like Ashley's dad would be really good in the Madden community. He was just like, "Let's go!" Like he was super hyped up.
Walt is like one of the coolest dudes, man. Like yeah, like I know a lot of people have kind of like a rough relationship with their in-laws, like that's the running joke. But I love my in-laws. Like I've gotten to know them pretty well. Like I feel like we have a pretty good relationship. Walt's a really cool dude. And he if he did play Madden, I feel like he would be great in the Madden community.
Yeah. And then that night we had Alexander's world famous. Not really. It was last second. We had Alex's hot dogs.
Yeah,
reviews on that. The fries were like a 9 out of 10 for oven fries. Okay,
yeah,
not
for
like
oven fries.
Restaurant quality.
Yeah.
The actual hot dog, the bun was amazing.
Mm-hmm.
But this it was such a small wiener.
Not the first time somebody's come to my house and said that it's such a small wiener.
It just needed some girth.
Yeah, it did. It really did.
I like full out reviewing all these places.
So that was Sunday, and then Monday
Monday you had to work.
Monday I worked, yeah.
So I just sat in your living room grinding Madden.
Yeah.
Until like Ashley got home around like 5-ish. So I was just playing Madden, chilling downstairs.
Oh, and then
I heated up some Hot Pockets. Yeah. I got a text from Alex. He's like, "You just make some Hot Pockets." I was like, "Yeah." And he's like, "God dang it, I can smell it. I really want a Hot Pocket now."
Dude, it was just
I was gonna offer you one, and then I was like, "Nah, he can get one if he wants one."
Dude, it was like I smell like the Hot Pocket, and I'm like, "Oh man, I could really go for one of those right now." And then after Ashley got off work, like we knew your car was ready, but you were like, "I'm gonna go get it in the morning, and then I'm gonna leave."
It's because we had like We had like 40 minutes
Yeah.
of time for me to get it, and I had to order an Uber, and I was just like, "There's no reason to order Uber just for it to be like late."
Yeah.
And it
So
was not. So I picked it up the next day.
so yeah, man. Then we took you to the biggest and the most well-known hangout in all of Ocoee, Florida. And that's
Is it?
that yeah.
You said it was your favorite restaurant.
It is my favorite place to go. If you know me personally, you know this is my favorite bar in the world.
Yeah.
I love it. There have been weeks, like there was one week where Ashley literally didn't feel like cooking, and I managed to get her to agree to go to Frank's place like 4 times in a week. It was amazing. One of the best weeks ever. But yeah,
Frank's.
we took you to
We sat down
Frank's
at the
place.
bar.
Yeah, we sat down at the bar.
The bartender was like, "You got an ID?" And I was like, "LOL. Give me a water."
Dude, I got the bucket. I got the bucket of beer, and I'm like, if she doesn't ID us before, we're good.
I wasn't gonna drink it anyways. I hate beer.
Oh, well, I thought maybe you'd have a Bud Light.
No.
Oh, damn it. Okay, well, hey, we took you to Frank's place. What's your rating of Frank's place? 10 scale.
I think I told you 7 when I
7.
told you.
So when you told me 7, I was like, wow. Most people would not give Frank's place a 7. Do you know
Is that too high or too low?
It's higher than I would expect. See, I love Frank's place. I think the food's great. I know.
It was
So like, here's the thing about Frank's place. Like, there's like some bias here, right? Like, I love the food. I love the atmosphere. I like kind of a dive bar. Okay, like kind of has that upscale dive bar feel. I realize it's an oxymoron.
Well,
but
it instantly gets like extra points for being a bar.
Well, yeah, and I mean, I really, I hang out in bars a lot, if you can't already tell. So, like, I really like this one. And the other thing, too, is, like, everybody that works there knows me. Like, first name basis and vice versa, because I'm there all the time. So, like, there's, like, the familiarity factor and all that. And, it feels good to go somewhere where people know, who you are, and you're not just some random guy that decided to stop in there. And, they're always nice to me. And I like that. It's good customer service. So, yeah, man, my favorite place to go. But I do have friends. I have one friend in particular who I took him there one time, and he's like, dude, I will never, like, I invited him there again, and he's like, I'm not going back to that place. So I was like, well,
yeah, there's a
list I have to find
of places I will never go again. I'm like, this place sucked.
Yeah, I get it.
Like,
but
Memphis was on there. I may go back to Memphis, but like, they just like when they built the roads in Memphis.
Yeah.
It's like they just like took like a bowl of spaghetti, threw it at the wall, and was like, "Here we go. Here's your roads."
I mean, they do that in a lot of places. A lot of times it's not a necessity. They build the roads before the major population sets in. I know there's sections of the Orlando area, where you're like, they didn't expect it to get this big. Like where you see how they had to situate the roads, but yeah, man, we took you to Frank's place, and that was it, man. The next morning, you woke up, you got your PC, and you got the hell out of here.
We did stream that night. We streamed all the nights. We tried.
Yeah.
So that's the first one. And that one, we had a little incident with the new PC.
Well, it wasn't a new little incident with the PC. Or are you talking about the second stream?
Running.
Okay, so here, pro tip for you guys out there that are PC builders. Yeah. Pro tip from your buddy Purple Swordfish: when you plug in a power adapter from your power supply to a motherboard,
plug it in.
Yeah, plug it in really firmly, because like here's the thing: I plugged it in, but it wasn't really firm, and it kind of jiggled loose. And yeah, those things will happen. But here's the thing, Andy. Like when I build a PC, I'm always afraid to push that power supply in too far for fear of bending the motherboard too much. I've never snapped a motherboard, and I don't ever want to.
So that was my trip.
How is your PC? How's your PC running?
I how many times to tell you? I don't know. It doesn't have legs.
Okay, the joke, bro. Come on, man. Are you using it now?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
You're recording this on that? Oh man,
I'm
no
not
way.
recording.
Well, no, but you're using your microphone. That's
I'm
cool.
using a upgraded webcam. People may notice. You watch the YouTube version. It's a 4K webcam.
Did you get a Brio?
I've had a Brio for years.
Okay, what'd you get?
It is a Brio. I've just had it forever.
Oh.
Like you act like you're like, did you get one? No, I've had it forever.
Oh, I didn't know, man. I didn't know. I thought that you told me you had a Brio, but I thought maybe you got rid of it or something. I don't know.
No, I was using the old Logitech 920 for the first broadcast.
Oh, man. I love that Logitech. I had the Logitech C922, which is like slightly different. It's just like, I think they changed like one feature on it from the 920. Yeah. It's a great webcam. I like it a lot, but I do want a Brio one of these days.
It's like a $40 upgrade, technically.
Yeah, I know, but I just upgraded to the 922. I don't know, man.
You just went to the Brio.
Well,
there was some problems. There's a lot of problems
budget.
with the Brio. I wouldn't recommend it.
Yeah.
It's still today. The software for it, nothing wants to work with it. The software, none.
I have heard that.
Like the Logitech support of it, they act like it doesn't exist. They act like they didn't make this product. So if you have problems, you can't fix it. Like there's nothing you can do.
Well, I think I'm gonna stick with my 922 when you say it like that, man.
Like whenever I first got it, I'd never used it because when I'd throw it on OBS, it would just flicker. Like it just like on like the recording, my webcam would just flicker on and off randomly.
I was having one issue with OBS that was unrelated to my webcam, but somehow, some way, I came across somebody who was having Logitech Brio problems. And I was reading the forum post, and all these people were like, yeah, man, I have a Brio. You just have to learn to deal with it. Yeah. Or, like, this is the workaround. Or you have to down... I was like, God, man, that sucks. Usually Logitech stuff is just pretty much amazing out of the box.
It's just a collective of people that all hate themselves for buying the Brio.
I mean, that's how I feel about people who, you know, buy certain brands of capture cards. I'm not going to slander anybody for that. But I do have to say, like, there's certain things like one person I talk to frequently had a capture card from this one company, dealt with the limitations that come with it, and went and got a newer version of it. And I'm like, dude, man, like, it's like some people, like, they do, I don't know, brand loyalty maybe? I'm not sure what it is, but you know, more power to you, Andy, for having the resolve, and more power to those capture card users out there of the companies that have a lot of limitations. But
speaking of capture cards, you experienced the Elgato game capture for the first time.
Yeah. That was one of the most that was one of the most exciting parts. So I really liked,
like the first couple hours. You're like, I don't know if we're gonna get this in, Andy. I don't know if there's room. I don't know how it works. And I said over and over again, you just slap it in.
Well, okay. Here's the thing. Okay. I looked at the motherboard for that PC. I looked at the case when they came to my house. First thing I did was open up that box for the case, because I'm like, this case, the box looks small. I got the case out of the box. I'm like, holy crap. When you take off the protective stuff, it's even smaller. But yeah, I didn't know if it was going to fit, but it fit right in. And I got to say, that built-in capture card's pretty nice. If you have a desktop, getting the built-in Elgato is not a bad choice at all.
Zero delay time.
The quality is unbelievable, and it's very easy to install as long as you have a free SLI port, which
I started streaming while I was here.
Yeah.
And I don't know why, but when I was streaming on Twitch, the only quality option you could choose was 1080-60. You couldn't pick anything worse.
That's so lame. I hate that, but I mean, sure. Okay.
I was like, what is this? What is this nonsense? But I streamed on Twitch. That went very poorly, kind of.
So, yeah, but it's just hard to garner. I think you should go back to streaming on YouTube for right now. I think you get more. Okay, well, you know,
I stick to my guns.
It takes time to build up an audience on Twitch. I literally have maybe less than 10 people that follow me on Twitch.
I uploaded a video this week.
Yeah, 49ers rebuild.
Not so hot.
Oh.
Not so hot. The cat wants to join us.
I mean, unfortunately, Andy, you took quite a break, so I think you just gotta. Oh, look at that!
Yeah, the cat's
wow, he jumped right up on the chair.
Yeah,
it's pretty cool.
Do that.
So, That was cool. But hey, it was fun having Andy over. So I appreciate you coming over and hanging out with me for a couple days. And I know it was a little bit longer than you initially expected, but I still had a lot of fun. And I really liked your PC. I felt like it came out really good.
Yeah.
Overall. I mean, for the price that you paid, I feel like you got one really, really nasty, like, video editing, streaming beast.
Yeah. Exported a 30-minute long video in 30 minutes.
It's pretty good.
And then if I export it in 4K, because I just wanted to see, it'd take an hour.
It's kind of what I expected. I mean, like, generally speaking, if it's 60 frames a second, you're not going to do a whole lot better than 1:1. But that's not bad. I mean, we had it streaming and playing Fortnite at the same time, and it's still doing okay. So, but yeah, man, Andy went on quite the adventure, but it was a pleasure having you here.
Next topic, I guess.
Next topic. Let's get into listener questions.
Finally getting into listener questions.
Yeah.
We haven't had a poll in a while.
We'll do one this week. We'll find one. We'll find something.
But anyways, we have Dumbestsphinx with the first question.
Yep.
I think first time submitting a question, I believe. Thoughts on new rookie quarterbacks in their first preseason games?
I'll quickly go over it. Mayfield looked really good. I think the performance, kind of speaks for itself. I think he could conceivably.
Did he play against starters or second stringers?
I guess he played against second stringers. It's always kind of hard to tell in the preseason, generally speaking, because a lot of times those starters come out right away, so it's really hard to tell if it's like third string guys, second string guys. He did look really good, considering it is preseason. I will say, it was impressive. I think that, if something.
Well, Dak also looked impressive in preseason.
Who?
Dak.
Well, yeah. I mean, I totally get what you're saying. With that, I'm not gonna take a whole lot from that and say, well, he's totally not going to be a bust now, or I don't think he's going to be a bust. By the way, I think Baker Mayfield is going to be a very good quarterback.
He's the best quarterback in his class.
But possibly. I mean,
guaranteed.
I like
the guarantee.
Josh Allen would be my choice. Just saying.
I'm very good at predicting stuff.
But Mayfield looked really good, and I think Tyrod Taylor also looked really good. And I think that, if I'm the Browns, I would run Taylor for the season. I'd let Mayfield sit.
What they ran Taylor for the win? That's an knee slapper.
Ha ha. Woo. Okay. So, Josh Allen, I thought looked really good in his first game. I know there was that one play that people were kind of like making memes out of it. But I thought it looked really good. And then, like, his second game, he just played it tonight.
At what point do you think Baker starts?
I think that Baker Mayfield probably starts as soon as they're eliminated officially from the playoffs.
I feel like if they start off like 0-2,
yeah,
Baker gets the job.
I don't know if I'd go that far, but I think he'll look really good.
If they're like if they're under 500 in the first 4 games, or first like 5 or 6 games, he's definitely gonna start.
Yeah, I mean, maybe I could see that. Hugh Jackson has shown a little bit of a propensity to, swap quarterbacks out fairly quickly. But overall, I mean, I would say that he did really well. Josh Allen looked pretty good. I don't think he's ready to start, but he looked pretty good. Looked promising. I mean, like always. Darnold, I gotta say, man, Sam Darnold has impressed in training camp, and then he also did pretty good in the preseason. And I think he might be a week 1 starter, man.
Well, yeah, he is.
Oh, they announced it?
No, I mean,
because I thought they were going to go with
each guarantee.
Okay, so I thought they were going to go with McCown week 1.
Why? There's no reason. Yeah. They're not going to make the playoffs
it's like the first time I can remember so many first-round QBs being taken, and they all look pretty darn good. Like, there wasn't one that went out and stunk it up.
We got 2 games for Lamar Jackson. What's your thoughts on him?
Lamar Jackson, honestly, I know I'm going to get some hate for this. I think Lamar Jackson has the most potential of any of the quarterbacks we're talking about. I really mean that. Because I think that he can do stuff athletically that those other guys literally cannot do.
My thoughts in the draft, before the draft, is Lamar Jackson's going to be the best one in this class the first, 3 years. But as a career standpoint, Baker will be the best.
Yeah, I mean, I think that Jackson looked pretty good in both games. But he looks like what I've been saying since the scouting combine. He needs work with his throwing mechanics. He needs work with his footwork, and that will come with time and coaching. I think that will happen for him. The athleticism, the explosiveness, the raw physical talent, it's all there. And I do think that it's more plentiful than the other guys, just because he is a dual threat. And I mean, he's got a great arm, no doubt about that. Josh Rosen, I don't have a lot of great things to say, but I mean, I don't think that he's competing to be a starter. I think he's competing to be a backup.
Who do you think the best one, just based off preseason, is?
I think the best guy right now, is Darnold, right? Closely followed by Mayfield. I think long term, I think when everything's said and done, I think Jackson has the most potential, but it's also the biggest chance to not reach it. If I had to say who's going to have the best career out of all of them, I'm going to say Josh Allen.
I'm saying best right now.
Best right now, I'm going to say Darnold right now. But I don't think the ceiling is as high.
The best.
Rosen?
I watched one preseason game. San Francisco 49ers versus the Dallas Cowboys.
Are you going to say Garoppolo?
No, he's not rookie. This guy technically, if you don't want to count him, you can't. Undrafted free agent last year, didn't play a game. He got cut, then picked up by the 49ers. My main man from Southern Mississippi, Nick Mullen.
Nick Mullen, okay.
In a preseason game against the Cowboys, down 21-10, came back and won it with 18 seconds left on the board.
Okay.
Nick Mullen. Casey Beathard was out there. Looked like an absolute bum. I love Casey Beathard. Who's absolute trash out there. Then Nick Mullen comes there, saves the day.
Well, there you go. You heard it here first.
Nick Mullen's the best.
Okay, so Andy's take is Nick Mullen.
He's the next Nick Foles.
Okay. I thought for some reason you were calling Garoppolo a rookie. I apologize.
He's the next Nick Foles.
He's the next Nick Foles.
Yeah.
High praise from ATH.
He's the next 79 overall Mutt card.
Any thoughts on the rest of the QBs, Andy?
Oh, no, I only watched that game.
Okay. Well,
and I was at church half the time, so I don't remember much of it.
There we go. Let's move on to our next question. It comes from Jarrod. He's on Twitter at SpoonSammich.
Long-time listener, first-time question.
Actually, I will.
I question every time.
I will say one of the biggest supporters of the podcast, so thank you for that, Jarrod. But he wanted to know how we feel about the changes in Madden 19 so far. So I'll just quickly lead off. I like everything that they've done this year that's different. The only thing, well, let's start with the good. Run game feels more realistic than ever. I like that you can't spam the power boost or whatever it is behind the line. I also say that the run mechanics, like the physics, feel better. So like when you truck over someone, you don't just truck over them, just keep running. A lot of times you truck over them, fall forward, get a couple extra yards. Like I don't feel like that was really there last year as much. So I feel like everything feels more realistic in the run game, open field tackling, things like that. In addition, I like that none of the cheese from last year works. Generally speaking, I've been playing Draft Champions online against people. I haven't gotten cheesed once. I know there is some skill gap. I know there's still professional players out there that will wax me, but still, like I've been able to play very even games online that I've had fun playing. So like I
There's
feel
some
like that's different.
cheese.
There is some cheese.
There's a broken blitz that your boy Savage has been using.
Wonderful.
He's currently 60-4 in head-to-head.
All right, good for Savage. So I'm just gonna keep it positive. I'm not gonna talk about people like that. So yeah, overall, I like the changes. I will say that this year seems to be the changes to the power up program in Madden Ultimate Team have been extraordinary. The power up program went from something that most people didn't even do because they didn't like getting an NAT card to something where you can get refunds for it. So it just there's no point not to do it. And then also the plethora of power up players that are out there makes it very easy
It's 5 for each team.
Yeah, I mean it's a lot compared to last year. At least it feels that way. And finally, I will say the ability to choose chemistries for players as you power them up is like really, really cool. So that means if I get a card and I change my chemistry for my team, I could conceivably switch things out. So overall, I think everything's really good. I still think
for your stuff back.
That is true. The refund,
I will say it's the first time they've done something in 1 year, and next year was better.
Yeah, I mean they really did a good
Draft
job
Champions,
with it.
great game mode. Never as good as the first year.
Yeah, the first year draft. But I have faith, man. Like I have faith that they're listening to the community, and I really feel like that's the biggest change.
Where they didn't though.
Well, we're here now, Andy. We're in Madden 19
and 1 year,
now.
they updated it every time. Golden Tick comes out, you can get it in Draft Champion.
The only thing, and I'll pass it over to Andy. The only things I think really need improvement right now is some of the pass coverage AI is kind of iffy. There's still some stuff every once in a while that I'll see in pass coverage where the AI just doesn't do what you would anticipate it to do. And then finally, there's a couple offensive plays that I feel are kind of overpowered. Like there's this one play action cross play that I don't know why, but yeah, PA crossers for whatever reason, most defenses don't.
Last year.
They don't play it right. So if they can fix those things as they go throughout the year, I think it might be the best Madden in a very long time. But Andy, I'll pass it to you.
Game-breaking glitch in squads.
Yeah.
Where you're punting the ball, it gets clipped onto the center's hand.
That is so weird.
And then I experienced some breaking glitches where if I break like 3 tackles in a row, like very close. Todd Gurley's running, he breaks 3 tackles. The second gets off the last tackle, he just runs for like 3 more steps and then falls. And it instantly gets counted down.
Yeah, I mean,
several times.
So, Andy, what are your thoughts?
I mean, it's mad.
Oh my goodness.
I'll play till Thanksgiving.
Oh man. So,
I mean, it's Madden. I've been playing a lot of it. Almost done the Journey solos.
So, thank you for the question, Jarrod. Andy doesn't really have much to say. I don't know what else. I don't know how to react to that. I will also say
Call of Duty. It's like this. It's the same game every year.
I just don't. I think. I
mean, I hate when people say that, but like at the end of the day,
I just don't feel. Like
game.
Madden 18, Madden 17 to Madden 18, it felt like a jump, but not a big jump, right? And in Madden 18 to Madden 19, it certainly felt like a much bigger jump.
IGN that said this. I don't quote me on this.
Yeah.
But they were like, it's the first Madden in years that deserved an instant upgrade.
Wait, deserved an instant upgrade?
Like it was so much
that
better.
You need to get
game.
it right away. Yeah. I mean, I would agree with that. Because I think there's a lot of people. There are a lot of people.
The last time that happened would be like Madden 12 to 13. If you like 13, most people prefer 12. You're on one side of the fence or the other.
There are a lot of people who I found this out primarily when I was streaming, who don't pick up the game until it goes on sale for the first time, or don't pick up the game until Christmas when it certainly goes on sale. Yeah. So I think there's a huge part of the community that's like that, but I do think that this is the one year where I would tell you, if you're not that person, maybe go out and get Madden right away. It's really good this year. But yeah, thanks, Jarrod, for the question. Thanks for being such a huge supporter of the podcast. Same thing goes to you, Dumbestsphinx. Thank you for being there every single week. We really appreciate it. We'll find the
smartest Sphinx one day.
We will, but until then, we'll enjoy what we have in Dumbestsphinx. Huge member of my community on my channel, too. So
find
thank
his
you
power
for that.
card and power him up.
I would power him up. We'd get the awareness level up, and then he would be smartest Sphinx. So moving on, next topic we have here. Let's quickly go over this, because I really don't have much to say other than I hate Derek Jeter. No, I hate Derek Jeter. Justin Bour got traded for a prospect, and it's not even a good prospect, Andy. And there's just no sense in doing that. The Marlins, I don't think they're interested in winning baseball games. And how dare Derek Jeter come out within the last week of this trade and say that he feels the Marlins are going in the right direction. Yet you're trading Justin Bour, a fellow Eggman, an Eggman with a power bat who can play first base pretty well. Okay, he doesn't hit for average, but gosh darn it,
he's a backup.
He can hit dingers.
He's not starting in Philly.
I know. Andy.
He's a bench player in Philly.
Andy, they would have traded him for a bag of balls, okay? Like, Derek Jeter seeks to ruin the Marlins. Justin Bour's a fan favorite. Why would you do that? I hate it. I hate Derek Jeter. That's all I have to say.
We should keep it in video games while we're talking about Madden 19. So our video game topic.
Do you have anything to say about Justin Bour?
No.
Do you have anything to say about Derek Jeter?
I mean, he's a crybaby.
Okay, good. I'd like that. He is a crybaby. I'm a
Red Sox fan, so.
He's a crybaby. He's a terrible owner.
Every time I think of Alex Rodriguez, first off, Derek Jeter, him.
Now I gotta bleep that. Oh.
The first thing I think of when I think Derek Jeter is 2004 ALCS. I don't remember what game it was, but he's running to first base, and he slaps the ball out of the guy's glove, and tried to play like it was his. He was like, "Oh no, that's just how I run," and he runs. He goes, slap.
He doesn't flail like
and then
that.
The best part about that, it's my favorite thing ever, is while Derek Jeter's crying to the umps about, "No, it's my running stance." Alex Rodriguez is standing on second base, just like this. He's just like, I mean,
yeah, I hate.
You gotta love it.
Can't stand him. Ruining the Marlins. So let's go on to our next topic here. What are we doing? Worst game you ever played?
Yeah. What is the worst video game you ever played? We could do that as our poll. AKA by poll, I mean, tweet us what your worst game was.
Yeah, we'll do that. I kind of want to hear what people have to say. So what's yours, Andy?
I don't know. You go first.
Okay, so mine, a little bit of an obscure one, but I remember when I played this game, I said to myself, I feel really, really bad, because I realized how popular this franchise was, and this is why, like, these are the things I think about when I play older games. I think about, like, the times when there was no internet, so there was no way to, like, a game came out that day and you immediately got a review and it was like, oh, it's good, or oh, it's bad, or oh, these are things that are broken in the game, or there was no Twitter where you could ask your friends or anything like that. You just had to go to a store and you picked out a game. And even when they had reviews in magazines, they were like 2 months behind. So I know there's a lot of people who went out and bought this game probably at full retail price, maybe the day it came out. Anyway, mine is Mighty Morphin Power Rangers for the Sega CD. And if you've never played this game and you want to really see what I'm talking about, I would encourage you to either go on YouTube and look up maybe a gameplay walkthrough where somebody's playing the game, or get an emulator and play it for yourself. I have done the latter. And when I played this game, I quickly realized it was like most Sega CD games. where most Sega CD games weren't an actual game. It was like a full motion video that's interactive. And the best way I can describe Mighty Morphin Power Rangers on the Sega CD is it's kind of like, imagine playing DDR with the controller. So like, you know how like you can play DDR with the D-pad, like you can hit up, down, left, right, you know? Well, it's kind of like that. And the controls aren't very, how can I put it? Like, it's not intuitive is what I would say. Like, when I first played the game, I was like, I don't know what I should be doing or whatever. It doesn't really give you a breakdown of what you should be doing. It's very, very picky on the inputs too. So like just a half second either way and you will fail. And finally, it's incredibly repetitive because it's just full motion video. So every time you play the game, every time you fail, every time you have to go back and start, you start all over from the beginning. You watch the same full motion video over and over and over and over again. I did not find a way to beat it. Played it with a bunch of friends for about 2 hours, and nobody could get past the second level. It's just, it's awful. And I hate to think that there's probably some kid whose parents went out, bought it for $50 and it was that bad. But that's my answer for the worst ever.
So I had my initial answer. I started looking stuff up while you're talking. I'm going to keep with my initial answer, which is The Walking Dead Survival Instinct. The first-person shooter Walking Dead game. It was bad.
What platform was that on?
360. It's a
I've
Walking Dead-based game, so it's recent.
I've never even heard of this.
Came out 2013, 2012.
I only know about the Walking Dead Telltale series. That's the only one I know of.
Oh, you mean there's no point to look it up? There is a Walking Dead coming out this year that I'm really hyped for. By the people over at Overkill. They made Payday. They're making a Walking Dead game. Comes out November 7th, I think.
Ooh, Payday. That's a good series.
I just played it for like an hour. I was like, this is bad. The next game I could think of is, I didn't play it, but No Man's Sky.
Yeah.
Oof.
I still want to play that game. I still want to play it and see if it's as bad as people say. I sent off for a press copy of it, and they didn't send me one. But
and then the only other real one is Sonic 06.
Okay.
I've never played Sonic 06. I'm kidding.
That's like, it's not even. It irritates me when people say Sonic 06 because it's not. I get that it's not a great game. I get that it's not even a good game. But my God, it's not the worst. There's so many other games. Like, games that you can't beat. They're out there. Like, there's games on
Superman 64.
So, Superman 64. Ugh. I want so badly. Just a side note here. I want so badly as a Superman fan for them to make one good Superman video game. I keep praying that somehow, some way, the most obvious thing in the world will happen, which is the people that made the Batman Arkham games would somehow end up. I always forget their name. I forget their name. I really feel like I should remember it. But nevertheless, the studio
Arcane
that
Studios.
What's
I
it
think it's
called?
Arcane.
No, it's not Arkham Studios. It's something else.
Arcane.
No, it's not Arcane. I think they made one of them. Rocksteady. That's it, dude. I keep hoping that Rocksteady will somehow get contracted to make a Superman game because I feel like they could probably make it work.
Big rumors.
I know.
Arcane is Dishonored. Sorry. Dishonored.
Well, I can dream, but I really do want a good Superman game. Superman Returns, though, on the Xbox 360 was actually okay. I know most people didn't like it, but I actually
Another thing
liked
I thought of was the Rambo game. You ever play that?
No.
Came out like 2013 as well, around that era. And it was just like an arcade shooter, and it was bad.
I could see that. I mean, there's quite a few bad ones out there that came to mind, but the one that really just got me was the Power Rangers Sega CD game, especially considering the Power Rangers game that came out around the same time on the Sega Genesis was so much better. Yeah. Like, unbelievably better. But
I will give you guys some helpful advice if you're gonna download emulators at any point in the future, download them now, because emulator sites are going down. The death of emulators is happening because Nintendo sued a bunch of emulator places for a ton of money.
Yeah.
And then a lot of places have pulled like most of their ROMs.
Nintendo's cracking down, man. So
sucks. I love emulators.
What I mean, I do too, and here's why.
I mean, statistically, pirating a game leads to more sales.
It's actually funny you say that because really good friends of my channel, Tiny Build, they did publish a study that they did internally that showed that them not enforcing piracy actually helped them. But nevertheless, they also kind of look at a lot of piracy as like they weren't going to buy the game anyway.
There was one that I really liked. It was like video game simulator, whatever. Where you're like a businessman, you make a video game.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
And if you pirated the game, in the game, your game gets pirated. Like they somehow knew if you get pirated the game. So if you pirated the game, you would never get any sales, and all your games, like all the time, you just get pirated.
I mean, it's like I don't want to advocate piracy too much, but what I will say is like piracy killed the Dreamcast in part. So I am against it. I also think that, as somebody who pays for their software, I do kind of hate when somebody's like, oh, you're so stupid. Like, I just pirated all that stuff that you have on your computer. I'm like, God, like, I hate that. But, pirating a 25-year-old game made by a company that doesn't even exist anymore, I don't know that you're hurting too many people. And the other thing, too, is, like, there's so many NES games that if you don't pirate it, you might not ever be able to find a copy. Like, NES games are really hard to track down, and then NES games that are working are even harder to track down sometimes, especially some of the more like rare ones. But nevertheless, more
Conker's
rare.
Bad Fur Day
I should have said rarer.
Is a bad one. Conker's Bad Fur Day. You can play it on the Xbox One. Before that, I really want to play it. The cheapest option was like $250.
Yeah, it's in N64. The way they produce games was kind of weird back then. I found this out when I listened to a developer interview. So when they would make N64 games, they were cartridges, so you had to get them through Nintendo. Nintendo would generally, almost always, only do one run. So when you made a game, you had to predict how many you think it would sell.
Yeah.
And with Conker, I guess they didn't think it was going to sell that well, so they just didn't make that many copies. It was also kind of towards the end of life.
Did the same thing.
Yeah.
Like all your Legos that you get are from like the 60s.
That is true. That is true. There's a really good documentary on Legos that's on Netflix. It's called The Toys That Made Us. They did a whole episode. I think they did 6 episodes of that. It's a really great series. If you like toys at all, check it out. It's on Netflix. But they did one on Lego, and it's pretty cool, man. Like I learned about a lot about Lego, and I love Legos.
Speaking of toys, I knocked over Alex's action figure, and he got
I'm so mad. Butthurt. Dude, butthurt. Dude, that figure. Okay, it's not a toy. It's a figurine.
There was no damage,
bro,
at all. It barely fell, and you got butthurt.
It's a $150 figurine of Scorpion from Mortal Kombat X. Like, dude, come on. And you knocked it over because you were playing. you were playing a stupid game with my tentacle. Like, God, if you don't know what a tentacle is, that sounds really weird. Look it up. It's on my channel. I did a review of it. TENIKLE, tentacle. It's a tripod accessory for smartphones and small cameras. Yes. So anyway, moving on. What's our next topics, Andy?
We got Conor McGregor versus Khabib at UFC number 229. Hopefully it actually happens.
I think it will.
Recently, all the big fights get ruined, which sucks. The first UFC event I missed in forever was because I was at your house. Big one that I missed.
You should have told me. We could have gone out.
Demetrius Johnson. He's held the belt 5.5 years. I missed him losing.
Andy, I'm a little bit sad right now.
And then Dillashaw versus Garbrandt 2. Yeah, I missed it.
We totally could have caught an Uber and caught it somewhere.
But anyways, Conor versus Khabib, the big fight everyone's been waiting for. Conor McGregor's back. Can he defeat Khabib? Khabib's like every time Conor fights, but I'm gonna say it. Khabib's like, oh, it's his worst nightmare. Perfect matchup for Conor. They say it every time though. Say it about Jose Aldo. Jose Aldo held the belt for like 8 years. Conor McGregor beat him in 13 seconds.
Yeah. Well.
Like Conor is a absolute stud.
So I'm a casual UFC fan, so I do not have a whole lot to add, but I will say this. I will definitely be checking out that fight.
And the Khabib, his last fight wasn't so hot. Didn't look that great. But Khabib is just a dominant wrestler. Best in the game. He fights. He fights like he weighs like 50 pounds more than he actually does.
You say he's a good wrestler?
Outstanding.
Really?
Like best in the world. Definitely in his weight class.
Bet he's not as good as Seth Rollins though. Anyway.
Yeah, I mean, I bet he destroys Seth Rollins.
I don't think so. I bet you Seth Rollins would curb stomp him.
I'm pretty sure. I don't know how much Seth Rollins weighs, but I'm gonna assume that Khabib weighs more.
Well, like
nope. Seth Rollins weighs 220.
So, check this out, man. Like, why do you think Brock Lesnar is so dominant in the UFC? Because he's one of the few men to beat the Undertaker.
No.
You know? You ever think, like, I've always wanted Brock Lesnar to, like, knock a guy out, but they don't call the match, so he just starts messing around, just, like, nails an F5 on a guy. Like in UFC.
I really wanted with Conor McGregor versus Floyd Mayweather, Conor's last fight.
Yeah. I saw that.
I really wanted Conor to get flustered.
Yeah.
And then just sweet chin music, Floyd, in the middle of the fight.
Yeah. I mean...
But Conor was pretty impressive, actually.
He was pretty impressive with how he fought.
I mean, he was a professional boxer in Ireland.
Yeah, I mean, he fought a fight that I don't think he had much of a chance of winning. I think Floyd Mayweather will probably retire as the best pound-for-pound boxer ever. It's very hard to go into that guy's house, you know, a boxing match. Might as well be Floyd Mayweather's house. It's pretty hard to go in there and compete, and you gotta give him the credit for not getting knocked the hell out like that. But yeah, it was an impressive fight, and I will say this: yeah, but what I'm saying is, like, you know, a lot of people are thinking, oh, he's gonna get knocked out like round 1, round 2.
Yeah, he got knocked out round 9.
I mean, how many people who are not?
If it went to decision, Conor would have won at that point of the fight.
Really?
Yeah. I feel like Conor won almost all the rounds up until the point of even getting knocked out.
That surprises me, but I'm not really that knowledgeable on boxing and how they score things. Because I watched Mayweather fight Pacquiao, and I thought Pacquiao won that fight, and it went to decision, and Mayweather won, and I was like, everybody that I was in the room with was like, what?
It's because they when they're scoring, they don't factor in damage. They do it in the UFC now. They used to not, but now they do it. I think is a big point. Just how messed up some guy looks.
Yeah. So, what's our next topic, Andy?
Oh, so we can't get away from Conor. I love Conor.
Well,
you know,
we said all there is to say. We're going to check it out.
Who do you think's gonna win?
Conor McGregor.
Yeah, Conor has never lost a fight. Besides, the only time he's ever lost a fight was against Diaz, and he had I think it was a 2-week notice for that fight.
Well,
so going in prepared, Conor always wins. But Khabib's amazing. I love Khabib. Khabib's undefeated, 27-0 or 26-0.
I think McGregor's going to be a lot like Cormier, where, you know, the majority of his career he's been pretty dominant.
Oh, so like Cormier, Khabib's going to win because Khabib's like John Jones. They're
Okay.
definitely not.
That's enough. I don't
But
like. I know enough about it, UFC to just say I don't get out of here with that. Okay. Well, we'll watch that fight. I'll live tweet it as a casual fan.
I don't live tweet UFC.
I do.
That's a lie. The next news in the sports world, we only have football topics left, actually. So going back to football, we have two small, minor topics. Starting off with, rest in peace, Darius Geis. Tore his
Feels so
ACL.
Yeah.
I don't even think he actually got a run in the game.
I really just wanted him to have a good year. I don't really have much to say other than it just made me sad because he slipped in the draft.
Yeah.
I don't think he should have slipped in the draft. I don't think that it was really his fault that he slipped in the draft. It wasn't like there was a very solid reason for that to happen. So, like, you know, I'm sitting there thinking, well, this guy's just going to go out there and make everybody pay for it.
The reason he slipped is because everyone's like, oh, Saquon Barkley, next, great. Past that, the next couple of guys, everyone's like, they're about the same skill level. So we don't really like, whenever one goes, they'll all go. But since there's like so many similar talents,
yeah,
you can go somewhere.
Well, all I can say is it's sad. I hope he comes back stronger than ever.
Yeah, it's sad. I think my favorite thing with Darius Geis is like Leonard Fournette, once in lifetime talent coming out of college. Everyone is like, he's coming out, but all the LSU fans were like, just wait, this Darius Geis guy might be better. Like in college, Darius Geis was way more dominant.
Yeah. I mean, you know.
With that thing go down, hopefully it doesn't affect his career because he tore his ACL for his first game. Like no one will ever compare, like know how to compare like pre-ACL, after ACL.
Yeah, I mean that is true.
It's just, sad to see. No one, in a perfect world, in my mindset, no one gets injured ever.
Well, yeah, I mean, I wish it was as easy as Madden where you could just turn the injuries off, right?
Like I've said this a couple times, I would rather lose to a fully healthy Seahawks team than win against a Russell Wilson, Russell Wilson that happened to get hurt.
Yeah,
I'd rather
absolutely
lose to a fully healthy team than win against a team that's hurt.
Nobody wins, with injuries. I feel like, the players don't want to beat a
league
team.
suffers.
Yeah, the league certainly suffers.
And this year's starting off pretty bad with injuries.
There was one year where quite a few starting quarterbacks got injured, and the NFL actually made that rule where you can't go low.
Yeah, can't go
on a QB. Yeah, they made that rule in part because, they think the viewership goes down when there aren't, the top quarterbacks on the field. And I would agree with that. It's a quarterback-driven league. So injuries don't benefit. The fans suffer. I think everybody's been in this situation where you buy a ticket to a game like well in advance. Like, I want to see this player play. Like, it happened to me a couple times with the Magic where I'm like, I'm buying Magic tickets for this game because I want to see this player play, and then they get hurt, and you're like, oh.
Tracy McGrady.
Yeah.
Who's your favorite Magic player of all time?
Favorite Magic player of all time?
Yeah.
Dennis Scott.
Dennis Scott.
When I was a kid, he was my favorite player. Great three-point shooter. And I met him when I was a kid, and he was, like, cool as hell.
So you're obviously older by a lot. I'll let you guess my favorite Celtics player of all time. In my lifetime, I've watched him play.
Can't be Larry Bird.
Yeah, obviously.
Okay.
Whoa.
Yeah, Larry Bird was way... I just realized when you were born and when Larry Bird retired.
I was born in 99.
Favorite Celtics player.
I'll give you like a baseline.
I'm thinking... let me just take a guess here.
All right.
Paul Pierce.
Yeah. No.
Okay.
The man, the myth, the legend, the greatest basketball player of all time.
If you say Brian Scalabrine.
Oh,
my God.
White Mamba.
First of all, I just have to say this. There's never been a player that looks more like the team's mascot than Brian Scalabrine.
Brian Scalabrine has more rings. Then
God, here we go.
Russell Westbrook. Then James Harden.
Yep.
CP3.
He has more rings than Patrick Ewing.
He has more rings than all these big players.
Yeah, all these cats. Anyway, like legit. Like, who's your favorite Celtics player?
Brian Scalabrine, the dude's a legend.
Then who's number 2?
I don't know.
I feel like most Celtics fans would say Paul Pierce because he played there for so long. He was there when they were bad. He was there when they were good.
I would say the guy I love the most, and the most that ever got hurt, like whenever he left, was Jordan Crawford. He left the Celtics to go overseas. You know, I love Jordan Crawford.
Jordan Crawford's fun to watch. Really
my favorite
fun
thing
to watch.
is a lot of people always call him Jamal Crawford. I mean, I would love the Celtics to have Jamal Crawford. He's awesome. There's like a famous video of this Knicks fan like raging for like 10 minutes, and he's like, because the Knicks were like good back then. It was I think it was the year after, 2 years after the big 2013 trade where they traded Kevin Garnett, Paul Pierce. They traded the entire roster basically for draft picks. And this Knicks fan, when they had Melo, Amari Stoudemire, they're like playoff bound. He's just like, we lost to Jamal Crawford, Jeff Green, Avery Bradley, Chris Humphries, Gerald Wallace Celtics. Not the Paul Pierce. Not the Rajon Rondo. No KG. And they have a first-year coach, Brad Stevens. Now Brad Stevens is best in the league. Don't at me.
He's definitely up there, I think. For sure. So
I would say another player would be that I really liked watching is Tayshaun Prince, UK alumni. Played 1 year in 2015.
Yeah, Tayshaun Prince was a pretty good basketball player.
He played in 2015, so later in his career, but I love Tayshaun.
So what else we got, Andy?
We have apparently your stream has been talking a lot about him. We have Desmond Bryant. That's his real name. Desmond Demond.
Well, I just wanted to bring this up to say everybody keeps telling me that he's going to go sign with the Browns and that it was expected to happen this weekend. But guess what? It hasn't happened yet. I don't think it's going to happen. And I don't see how he makes the Browns a better football team.
They're expected to meet next week.
How much impact do you think a player can make this far in? Hasn't gone through training camp, hasn't gone through OTAs, doesn't know a single thing about the offensive system.
I mean, it's Dez Bryant. The type of player doesn't really need to know. You just throw it to him and he catches it. Like, I mean, I get like the wide receiver position.
Lately, he hasn't been able to catch it. That's been the problem. That's why he got let go in Dallas.
Really only runs like 3 or 4 routes really well.
It would behoove him to learn how to run more routes, because I'll tell you right now, the days of him playing pitch and catch with quarterbacks, those are over. He's not an elite level receiver anymore. I refuse to believe otherwise. Everybody who thinks that he's really young, he's not. He's 29. He's not exceedingly young. This isn't a 24-year-old spring chicken Dez Bryant anymore. He's not athletically superior to the corner that he faces on any given Sunday. He hasn't been the same since that foot injury. He never really had great hands to begin with. He dropped too many balls as it was. I don't see it. I don't see him doing very well. And then also, I just have to say this, the quarterback that's going to be throwing to him has traditionally not been a very good quarterback throwing downfield in terms of accuracy. How would this not be just like Sammy Watkins and Tyrod Taylor playing in Buffalo again? Where it's one guy who can't catch a football very well.
Worse.
And Dez Bryant, well, then there you go. I don't see it. I just wanted to bring it up to just reiterate this point.
I think we should
I think it's a complete waste of time.
Establish the first rule of the podcast.
What's the first rule?
No Dez Bryant talk.
Okay.
Until it gets signed. We'll briefly mention it. But I'm tired of talking about Dez Bryant. Sorry.
Okay, so we're done with that. Okay, so what else do we got, Andy?
I mean, that's all the topics. There's one thing you talk about learning the playbook. That thing is funny. there's news reports. Oh, Martavis Bryant isn't learning the playbook, and it's a big thing on Twitter is like, well, yeah, Martavis runs. Like he only runs streaks. Martavis runs a streak, you throw it to him. That's Martavis Bryant for you.
He does two things. He runs fast and he smokes weed. That's it.
He's also, he's big and he catches the ball.
No, I mean, he's good. I mean, I don't have anything against Martavis Bryant. I just think that he got too big for his britches in Pittsburgh, and anywhere else he's gonna go, they're going to expect him to do more than what he did in Pittsburgh.
With the Steelers, I know this because I'm big in fantasy football. He only did stuff in away games. Why is that? Because Big Ben sucks at home games.
Can I just say this now? I'm just gonna call it. Remember when Mike Wallace did the same thing?
Yeah.
The same type of player, really great athlete, tremendous runner, good size, good hands, could catch a football well, but never learned how to run a route tree very well. Got too big for his britches, went to Miami. How'd that work out?
He had a resurgence in Miami.
1 year, okay.
Yeah. Oh, no. He had resurgence in Baltimore, sorry.
Wasn't that much.
I mean,
he never hit the levels that he had in Pittsburgh, if I'm not mistaken. But I just don't feel like Martavis Bryant is going to be any different.
Always have great wide receivers, though.
Well, I wonder why. Maybe it's because their scheme fits.
They used to have Emmanuel Sanders.
Santonio Holmes.
Yeah. Juju Smith-Schuster comes out of nowhere. No one really expects anything from him.
I mean, they have a good scheme. They have a good system. They have a great culture as an organization, top to bottom, from the owner all the way down to the coaches, the trainers, the players, everybody.
Like rich businessmen only wear like the same outfit every day.
Yeah.
That's Pittsburgh for you. All the sports teams wearing the same outfit. All the same colors. I mean, all black and gold.
Well, you know what? Works for them.
The Penguins are kind of throwing it off because their gold's different.
Yeah.
But black and gold all the way.
Well.
So before we head out, you just got to throw in there. JD Martinez, 35 home runs this season. Past 162 games, he's hit 60 home runs. Love that dude. Love JD Martinez. Shout out to you.
Yeah.
Red Sox have 84 wins now.
Also, real quick, before we end off, gotta do a little plug in some stuff here. Number one, you could buy DCD t-shirts. We'll have a link in the description. Check it out. That'd be really cool if you do. Also, if you're on YouTube and you want to get the audio only version, we're on iTunes. We're on Google Play Music. We're on Stitcher and a host of other places. You could go to deadchannelduo.com and get all those. So, like, if there's a week where you don't want to check out the video, or maybe you just want to subscribe to it on iTunes, help us out with those subscriber numbers on iTunes. Yeah, that was the next thing I was going to say. Go on iTunes, leave us a 5-star review if you like the podcast. That would greatly help us out as well. But I will get off my soapbox now and stop pitching so much.
Red Sox are 11 games ahead of the team in the MLB broad standings. 11 games ahead to second place.
All right. Well, before Andy can talk any more about how great the Red Sox are, we're going to end up. No, they don't. Shut up. I'm a Marlins fan. It's insulting when you say that your team sucks when they truly don't suck. So that's going to do it for this episode of the Dead Channel Duo podcast, guys. See y'all next week. Bye.
Next time on Dead Channel Duo Show.
Thanks, Andy.
Thank you.